Yeah, baby! It's number 50. This is Maximilian, everybody. How you doing? It's been way too long. I know it has, but you know what? We're doing a video, and that's what matters. Yes! So, today we're going to fight Janine, I believe it is. Should be Koga, but you know what? Koga had bigger, better things to do, so we left his daughter in charge of the shop. Whoop-de-doo. Gotta fight a couple of biker trainers and bird trainers to get there. And a lot of poison to deal with, an unnecessary amount. But you'll notice something's a little bit different about my party. We have a Dragonair, and not just any Dragonair, a Dragonair that's at level 36. If you recall last time I had a Dragonair, but that was only at level 10. Like, Max, what kind of sorcery did you pull to get this Dragonair up 26 levels? Well, children, there's this glorious invention called the Elite Four, and you can fight them over and over again to your heart's content. So no matter how bored you may be one day, you can always have the Elite Four to cheer you up. It's incredible, I know. And the kicker, they give you experience. Oh man, yeah. So if you guys have been wondering what I've been doing the whole time, I mean aside from living my life and traveling places and being really busy with work 40 hours a week, I've been level grinding my balls off. That's right, I've been running Dragonair through the Elite Four non-stop. Like I'm training for the freaking Olympics or something. And Dragonair's been beefing up quite appropriately. Now, I've had to do it the hard way because, as you all know, a Dragonair who's at level 10 doesn't exactly fight well against an Elite Four that ranges from the 40s to 50s. Doesn't work out so well. So we've had to do the whole bait-and-switch tactic, which takes a while, and eventually we'll get to the point where Dragonair can hold her own. But, you know what? It's all done. I took care of it. We finally got over the hump. That silly, drastic hump where I had to get that Dragonair up to speed. Because right now I am working on acquiring the, not the Elite Four team. I was about to say Elite Four, and then I caught myself. We are fighting Red now, and we need a super-duper Dream Team to fight Red. So, you guys are going to find out who the rest of the Dream Team is at the end of the episode. Now, you could be a little spoil sport and skip to the end of the video, but you know what? That wouldn't be cool, and I don't like people who aren't cool. No, I'm just kidding. I love all of you, even if you're not cool. But seriously, though, don't spoil the surprise. I worked hard on that. I worked hard on those Photoshop images with a single PNG and one layer of text on it. Those took me like a whole 5 minutes to do those. Gosh. You guys don't appreciate the effort I put into this at all. Jeez. Anyway, in case you all couldn't tell, Poison is horribly annoying, which is part of the reason why this episode took so long to make. Mostly because I really didn't feel like wasting the full restores I had in my pocket, even though at this point I pretty much have Infi money. But I just walked to a Pokemon Center at every opportunity I could. And eventually I just decided, screw it, I'm just going to deal with it. It doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, Poison's annoying. So I wasn't really looking forward to this gym too much, but the only redeeming fact of this gym is that it's one of the lower level gyms in the game. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do this one before the first four that we did, but you know what? I am all about tradition when it comes to this game. I am a total sucker for nostalgia, Kanto region, that whole thing. So if I get my gyms out of order, man, it just screws with my head. Can't do that, man. You will just drive me bonkers if I do my gyms out of order. So we're doing them in chronological order according to first generation, which means technically we're doing Janine or Koga's. It's Koga's gym, not Janine's, 5th. Even though we probably should have done it first because none of our Pokemon even break the 40s. And her team is really pitiful, even though, like, if you thought that was worse, if you thought that was bad enough that her team didn't break the 40s, like, her team is just bad. Like, this is basically a classic case of the kid trying to take over the family business and not doing a great job of it. So, Koga, you may want to get your butt back into Fuchsia from Elite Four, you know? Fix things up, tidy up around the old gym, because, man, it's a mess over there. Like, you guys will probably know, I'll point it out a little bit later, but, man, that operation is just out of control. Gotta step in and set some boundaries, if you know what I mean. Now, anywho, you probably wondering what I've been up to the past couple of months, I suppose. Oh man, it has been that long. And I really do apologize for that. But, I've been doing crazy things. And by crazy, I mean awesome things. Like, not like stupid things, you know, like going out and like smashing mailboxes with a bat or something. Like, not that kind of crazy. Like, I've been going to really cool places crazy. Like, let's see, last weekend I went to the Gaylord Opryland in Nashville for a Magic tournament of all things. Oh my god, I am such a huge nerd. In case you hadn't figured that out already, guys, I am a huge nerd. So, I went to the Gaylord Opryland, which is basically a small city under a giant roof, glass domes in a couple of cases, and like, they're thinking, you know what would make this city under a roof even better? If we added a couple of, like, jungles and garden conservatories, and and a river. A river with a little boat ride would be fantastic. And why not throw a little island with a bunch of shops and restaurants, kind of like a small town inside of the city, inside of a roof kind of thing. Like, we're getting all, like, Inception on the whole town inside a roof concept. Oh, dude, it's unbelievable. I got a ton of pictures for you guys, though. So I am going to make some kind of a slideshow / I don't know, video. Maybe it'll just be me like, here's a bunch of pictures, guys. Like, you're going through my Facebook page or something, and I'll just give you a little bit of walkthrough / commentary on what happened there, what everything is. But you could probably figure that out. I mean, like, it's really not too hard to see what's in the pictures. It's just ridiculousness. That's basically what the pictures are. But it's so cool. So I got some pictures, I had to show it to you guys. The weekend before Nashville, though, I was in Indianapolis, and that was another Magic tournament, in case you couldn't tell by now. And that was at Lucas Oil Stadium. And I'm really, really, really regretting that I did not get any pictures of the stadium. Granted, I was insanely busy both of the days, because, after all, I was there to work the tournament, not play in it, so it's not like I had a whole lot of free time. I basically worked 12 to 16-hour days for Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, rather, but didn't have a whole lot of free time, and there were a couple security guards around the places where, like, we actually had good vantage points at the stadium. I'm going to try and steal some pictures, because we were actually allowed to take our group picture together with all the tournament officials at right in front of the lower tier section of the stadium. So you kind of have all the seating in the stadium in the background, which you can't really see the bottom of because it was covered in dirt for some kind of, like, Monster Jam sort of thing. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't get a picture of the outside of the stadium, and I'm really regretting it, but you know what? It was cool. I was there. At least I got something from it, so I can prove to you that I was there. And in the end, it just wasn't as cool as the Gaylord Opryland in Nashville, so yeah, it's not a big deal. Shouldn't be a big deal anyway. But I had a great time both of those days. We went out to dinner together on Saturday night both times. In Indianapolis, we went to a place called the Ram Brewery, which was, oh my god, a slice of heaven. So good. So good. So, like, on top of being a microbrewery, which is awesome in its own right, because I love beer. In case you couldn't tell from my Magic episodes, I love beer. And when someone brews something that they really love and are passionate about, it always tastes fantastic. But then they have, like, insane bar food on top of that. And you know how, like, bar food's traditionally, like, burgers, fries, chicken wings, whatever. They had everything here. Like, they had fried pickles, which is one of my favorite foods of all time. If you've never had fried pickles before, you've got to try them. You owe it to yourself to try fried pickles. But what I had for dinner was this thing called the butt face. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, that is the least appetizing sounding dinner you could possibly think of. And you know what? I thought of that first too, but, like, well, let me fill you in on what exactly is this monstrosity that is the butt face. First off, this is a burger. Like, okay, that's pretty standard. It's a burger, guys. Nothing fancy, like no tofu, no veggie patty. It's like a quarter-pound burger. And it's on a pretzel bun. And I know what you're thinking, like, how on the hell is that possible? Well, imagine, like, if you had a hamburger bun, right? But its outside was, like, pretzelized, for lack of a better word. It's literally like you are stuffing a cheeseburger inside of a pretzel. So that was awesome in its own right. But on top of that, they have this cheese sauce, which they make from some of their pale ale, which is delicious. On top of that, they put bacon and a fried onion ring. Oh, man, it was so good. So good. That, and when you have, like, 40 or so people together that are just horribly sleep-deprived and you give them food and alcohol, some really crazy things ensue. You hear all kinds of crazy stories. We just have great times chatting it up. And it was a great weekend. Although probably the highlight of the night was being as how it was championship week for basketball, the weekend before the March Madness tournament kicked off. There were an abnormally large amount of Louisville fans there, and there was this one woman who shall remain nameless, because, number one, I don't even know what her name was, but she shall remain nameless anyway, who, as she was walking out, obviously drunk, whipped up her shirt and said, "Go Cards! Woo!" And as soon as she walked out the door with two of her other drunk broad friends, 3 cops in succession without missing a beat. 1, 2, 3. All their hands clutched at their radio, just started chasing after them. And I thought, oh man, that's got to be hilarious. Oh, so funny. So funny. Drunk people are hilarious, which is generally why I take the position of being the sober guy. Now you're thinking, man, such a spoil sport. Like, sober guys are no fun. You gotta get drunk, that's where all the fun is. Well, first off, it's highly overrated, I'll tell you that right now. The hangover ain't pretty. Second of all, it's so much more funny when you're sober to watch drunk people. Like, they do some of the stupidest things ever. Especially when you combine frat boys and golf carts, and, oh man, when you're playing golf with a bunch of drunk frat boys, hilarious things ensue. So, if you ever want to have some fun sometime, and like some friends of yours invite you drinking, which you shouldn't be doing if you're underage, I'm gonna wag my official finger of justice at you right now. But if you do happen to go out drinking and you are of age, and you know your friends are going to get wasted ahead of you, like, hold back a little bit and watch what they do. Like, because like, if you get drunk too, obviously you're gonna black out. You're not gonna remember a thing. But when you're sober and you're witnessing everything, that is just ingrained into your mind. It sticks there forever. Forever burned into your mind the hilarious things that happened last night. And if you have a camera, you might be able to show your friends what exactly they were like that night. I have done it occasionally, and I have to tell you, it's quite hilarious. Anywho, let's talk about something that's a bit more productive and that probably won't get me in trouble with some of your parents. Alright, so, the gym. As you can see, we have a bit of a cross-dressing problem here. They're all dressing like Janine, which is a bit peculiar because some of these aren't girls. And, well, I mean, I'm not a hater or anything like that, but seriously, Koga, this is what happens to the management when you go away. Like, dude, if this is a sign of the times, I don't know what this is. So, come on, baby. This is basically all the more evidence that this gym is in shambles. And I made a huge goof up here and decided to completely miss one trainer. But, oh well, what can you do? The gym is incredibly easy, aside from the fact that there are the occasional Pokemon who have poison-type moves and will poison you. And here I am here, misclicking like a champ, trying to hit Dragon Breath, and I hit Thunder Wave on a Nidoqueen, which obviously doesn't work. Yeah, it's been a while since I made one of these, can't you tell? I've gotten a little rusty at my Pokemans. But it's pretty much straightforward. And I was kind of surprised I was able to pretty much run through the whole thing with Dragonair. I didn't really plan on it. I figured I'd have to get some backup at some point. You'll see me switching to Ampharos anytime I come up with a Weezing, because, generally speaking, anyone with a Weezing is just going to treat that thing like a suicide bomber. They pretty much just auto-smash self-destruct every time. So, throw out a fatty, let them soak it up and get free experience. Unfortunately, though, Janine's Weezings were not so cooperative, and so I actually had to fight them with Ampharos, which I kind of didn't want to do, but I mean, Ampharos just takes care of them in one hit anyway, which, I mean, it's like, I kind of figured it was going to happen, because it's friggin' Ampharos. Ampharos the boss, as you all remember him from the good old days. But yeah, all in all, the team for Janine is just not working out very well. So this gym was rather easy and uneventful. Now, let me discuss some future objectives with you. Obviously, this is priority number one, even though I'm a little bit slow at doing it because I pretty much have to level grind for a small eternity before I can actually put something out that's decent. This is priority number one. I'm going to finish the walkthrough. Also going to finish Duels of the Planeswalkers Revenge. I'm pretty sure that's the last thing I'm going to touch with Duels of the Planeswalkers for a while. But then we get to a nice side project. And another Pokemon game, of course. Basically, what I'm debating right now is whether or not I go to the third generation Pokemon games, like the, I guess what was the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald version games. I'm thinking about doing one of those, but apparently Black White is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. So some of you have been like clamoring for Black White. Now that one might be a bit of a logistics puzzle for me. Because I don't really have a whole lot of experience with the Nintendo DS emulators, especially since I'm doing most of this on macOS. Now, granted, I could boot into Windows and do this, but that also means I'd have to find another recording program, and that just complicates things even further. So, let me know if you guys would rather see 3rd Gen or 5th Gen next. I mean, I could progress through the generations as they go. Apparently, 4th Gen was very lackluster and just not worth mentioning. That's just what I've heard. I could be completely wrong. But would you like me to go 3, 4, 5, or just jump straight into 5?
Because apparently 5 is just like balls to the wall goodness, and if you're like any kind of or even remotely interested in Pokemon at all, that is the game for you. Or so I have heard. So that is your comment for the day. Comment in the box right now. Go. You can pause the video if you want to, but you know what? Go ahead and keep watching. You can type and listen at the same time, multitask. Isn't that what they taught you in like kindergarten or something? Hopefully, anyway. So yeah, that's future plans for Pokemon anyway. Now, I already have another side project in mind because again, I want to diversify content here. So, I'm going to be working on acquiring the game because this is not a newer game. This game is most certainly old. I actually am pretty certain it's at least a decade old now. It's almost hit the point where you could call this a classic, which is really sad, I know, because it just makes me feel really old. But I'm going to be working on another side project walkthrough in addition to whatever Pokemon game that you guys choose to have me do for the next series. So do be looking out for that. Hopefully it will appeal to at least some of you, and if not, I mean, I'll be having fun doing it, and that is what's important here. You can't really do this thing if you're not having fun. So, one other thing I'd like to throw out there before we actually get to the Dream Team. A couple of weeks ago, I was contacted by a company called Fullscreen, and it turns out that they have offered me a partnership. Right now, I'm working on finalizing the said partnership with them, so hopefully that'll be taken care of in the next couple of weeks. But you notice at the moment I don't have a background. That is because I have a partnership background from a good buddy, friend of mine, Mr. Mitch. You're the best, but need to wait for that to be finalized so I can apply it. So super sweet, awesome, got a partnership, and you know what? It's all thanks to you guys. You guys are awesome. You actually watch my videos. You subscribe to my videos. I don't know why you do, but you know what? I love making them, and I know you love watching them. So thanks so much for helping me out. It means a ton to me. Now, here's your Dream Team, ladies and gentlemen. First off, let's start with the familiar faces. Lugia is obviously making a comeback because, I mean, seriously, come on, it's Lugia. Nothing needs to be said there. We also have Ampharos the boss because he didn't get his run in the Elite Four. We're going to give him a shot here. We have Houndoom, as you can probably tell since I've been level grinding him a ton. In addition, we're going to have a Dragonite. We don't have one yet, but trust me, I will eventually get there. And some newcomers, Ho-Oh, oh yeah, legendary epicness all day long. And finally, Tyranitar, because, I mean, it's freaking Tyranitar. It's like the coolest Pokemon in all Pokemon Silver. So, there's your Dream Team. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.